Do you have a family history of volunteering?
I don't. Interestingly enough, when I went to Japan, last August, and I told them, my family, my aunts and my cousins, that I'm gonna go volunteer in the Tohoku area. Everyone was really surprised. It's like, one, ooh, you're volunteering, and two, you're a girl. And so they were really surprised, but incredibly supportive. And they're like, oh, it didn't seem like it occurred to them to do such, spend their time that way. So no, I'm the only one who's all gung ho about, spending time in the community and doing things and helping people. Well, I like doing web design, but it was never something I felt incredibly passionate about, like it was my calling. It just didn't, it doesn't feed my soul. Web work was, it made enough money and it was satisfying enough for me to keep going. But obviously there was something that compelled me to keep looking. And when I went on the first Habitat for Humanity trip to Guatemala, it was like, oh wow, like there's just something about it, it just touched me. And I was like, this is fascinating, like this I have to do again. I started getting really involved in about 2007 or 2008. And that was kind of on a whim. I'm like, I just needed to go somewhere. I want to go on a trip that's not to see my parents or see my family in Japan. I want something completely different, on my own. I wanted some focus, and I thought, oh, volunteer would be an easy way to be around nice people, do something good while I'm some random place. It was kind of serendipitous. I was like, this is fantastic. I need to do more.
Is there a reason that you started your own volunteer group?
Yes, there is. So I spent some time, a couple of years with Child Advocates, a couple of years with American Red Cross, and I loved both of them. And I also did some work with Habitat for Humanity, the local chapters. But mainly, I just couldn't decide which organization I liked the most, and I just didn't have enough time to spend volunteering with all the different organizations that I fell in love with. So I really wanted an opportunity for me to explore each of those organizations. And that's kind of how I came up with the name too, is for I Explore. I is the Japanese word or Chinese word for love. And so it basically means I love exploring, or I love to explore. Today, they'll probably be here like next week or some other time. Hello? Did anybody not get a burrito? You've heard, I think we all know the phrase, glass is half full, and that's how I see it. And the earth, there's so many things on this earth that are optimistic if you look for it. And the way I see it, the earth is half full. And that's what I wanted, that's the kind of optimism and mindset I wanted to share with people. And I think each person has to find their own happiness. And if I can help them find that passion or happiness through I Explore, I feel like that would make me happy. I don't know if there are a lot of challenges on starting up. Since I use meetup.com and it's pretty easy to use and it suits our needs really well. But maintaining it and keeping it going is, there are definitely challenges to that. I do spend a lot of my money out of pocket for the website costs, snacks, tips. I spend a lot of time on the phone, and if I go over, then it adds up. Any sort of craft supplies, those all cost. And then there's a difference between making custom events, such as like the musical performance we did on Sunday. So we have to make sure we have everything ready to go. We have people recruited to do the performances, and so that was a lot of work.
So she puts in the time, which is appreciated, to organize the event, plan it and organize it, and then it's easy for people like myself to look on my calendar and say, yeah, I'm available for that, why not?
Have you ever wanted to help somebody out but couldn't?
There are definitely times where I feel like my hands are tied. You want to help, but there are all these rules. So for example, we were giving out food to homeless, and then I didn't know that there were rules about food that was, it has to be prepared, health inspected, professional kitchen. Obviously, Other failures are when people don't show up. Or I'm so excited about it and like 2 people show up and only because I begged them to. And that's happened enough times where I'm starting to get an idea for what people want to do and don't want to do. There are a couple events such as like working with Special Olympics, which I thought it was great, and most people thought it was great, but I did have one person who left early, abruptly, without telling me, and I tried to reach out to her afterwards, and she never reached out to me, which makes me wonder if something happened or if being around special needs kids was difficult for her, which sometimes I forget that it's harder for some people than others. So those are times I think like, well, maybe I should have warned her, or maybe I should have prepared her a little bit more. You know, what could I have done?
What is your perspective on volunteering? Do you think it is beneficial to the person who volunteers?
Well, I think it is. I mean, I definitely feel like I get something back from it. It gives me perspective on my life and how lucky and blessed I am.
I have a condo, 700 square feet. It's got AC, running water, electricity. I have a bed. I don't have bugs in there. It's not rusted. It's temperature controlled. No one comes in unless I let them in, you know, and it's safe, and I don't have to worry about people barging in. I don't have to worry about gunshots. I don't have to worry about, you know, am I going to get kidnapped? Am I going to starve? Am I going to die tomorrow? Like, I don't have to worry about those things. And there are other people who do live in those conditions, and yet they're making the best of it.
So when we were in Costa Rica, we were working with orphans, and my little boy was with me, and so he kind of just ran around with all the kids playing and making friends. And there was one little girl that he became pretty close with, and at the end of the week, she wanted to give him a gift, and I really didn't want him to accept it because these kids have nothing at all. And she had this one little stuffed animal, and she really wanted him to have it. And I think it would have been more hurtful, you know, if we hadn't taken it, so we went ahead and accepted it. But just to see how, you know, how easily she gave what little she had, just made me realize that I have a lot to give, a lot. And it also made me realize that I probably need to live a simpler life, you know, so that I can really appreciate the things that matter to me.
Then I've done so many volunteer events that people know me as a girl that volunteers, and they just assume that I'm always volunteering and that I'd be interested, and so I've kind of had that reputation, one for volunteering and one for traveling, which I like, so it's good.
As a new mom, it gave me a break from my hectic routine. So that was nice to be able to take back a little piece of myself. It was nice to remember that I have my own identity besides being mom. So
if you can make people happy, then their happiness is infectious. Then they will try to make other people happy. If you have enough in your own life, then you want other people to feel that same happiness in their own life.
Changing the world, you know, I think that we all would love to do that. We live on in the memories of the people that we leave behind and our deeds. You get a little bit of immortality, and I think that that's one reason why people might get involved and help out. And in doing that in a smaller scale by volunteering, then you've succeeded. So even to be able to help one person or a smaller group of people is still making an impact, and that's, I think, really important.
I don't know what that place would be, where I want to, like, where my end point is, where my goal is. Like, I don't know if just expanding my membership is enough. If I help enough organizations or enough people, is that going to be enough? I don't think so, but I don't know when it would be. All I know is that maybe someday it might come to a point where I say, okay, I think I'm about done. You know, I think it's taken me everywhere I wanted to go and everywhere I wanted to take it. I don't know, we'll see.